This is your weather now.
It is 5 o'clock. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ted Florendo, and this is your weather now. Temperatures outside, very pleasant in the low 70s, unseasonably cool. However, winds have picked up again. We're seeing double-digit wind speeds, gusts up to 21 out at Nellis right now. Look at the top gust we had at Hoover Dam at 42 miles per hour. Laughlin, not too far behind McCarran, in the high 20s for your wind gusts. Your evening planner shows those winds will calm down a little more this evening. We'll talk about that later on. Temperatures will be nice and cool tonight, and 53 for your morning start. I'll have a lot more to talk about coming up, but first, your News at 5 starts now.
All right, live local now at 5. New policies are in place. More on the strip workers that need now to be vaccinated to keep working.
Plus, rent is on the rise and evictions are not stopping. More on a local woman's challenging journey to find a new place to live.
And problems at the post office. Recent changes have caught the attention of lawmakers, how they plan to deal the snail mail slowdown.
Now, this is 8 News Now, live at 5. Live, local, now.
New vaccine policies go into place today at some major resorts. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us here at 5. I'm Christian Cáceres.
And I'm Denise Valdez. So MGM Properties and the Westgate are now requiring certain employees to show proof of vaccination. Joe Mueller is live here at MGM with more on those policies. Joe?
This means thousands of people had to go to work today with the vaccination or proof of it at least. Both of these properties, both MGM and Westgate, have their own mandates. MGM's applies to all area properties for salaried as well as new employees hired after August 30th. Mandatory testing is still in effect for pre-existing hourly employees who don't want to get vaccinated. They plan to release vaccine numbers next week. The Westgate policy applies to all non-union workers unless they provide proof of medical or religious exemption. Westgate officials tell 8 News Now the vast majority of those employees will be vaccinated by this weekend. The local vaccination rate sits at around 51%. District Health Officer from the Health District says policies like these will improve that number.
Those companies that are implementing the vaccine mandate are trying also, in addition to protecting the community, they also are trying to protect the product and the service that they are offering to the community.
MGM was also holding a job fair today at the Boulevard Mall. We talked to folks who are going in or coming out of there actually after just applying for a job. One woman says she didn't mind them asking her about her vaccination status, and she actually feels safer going to work knowing employees are vaccinated. Reporting live near the Strip, Joe Mueller, live local now.
All right, thank you, Joe. An FDA panel has endorsed booster shots for Johnson & Johnson's single-shot COVID vaccine. The panel says the booster should be offered at least 2 months after immunization, but didn't suggest a firm time. The FDA isn't bound by the vote, but its ultimate decision could help expand the nation's booster campaign. All right, let's take a look now at today's COVID update here in Clark County. We're seeing 106 cases per 100,000 people. Now, we've watched that number slowly drop recently. Still, state health officials are looking for it to get below 50. Now, the test positivity rate is sitting at 6.9%, which is unchanged from yesterday. More than 54% of Clark County residents are fully vaccinated.
And Christian, some good news for locals who want to travel abroad and resorts who want international visitors. In less than a month, border restrictions are being lifted if you're vaccinated. The U.S. is expected to welcome international travelers starting November 8th. That rule applies to both air and land travel, by the way. The U.S. border has been closed to discretionary travel since last March. Well, rent continues to skyrocket and evictions also continue. And some Valley residents are finding anywhere they can just to put a roof over their heads. The I-Team's Vanessa Murphy is following one woman's journey, and she was just days to find out that she needed a new place to live. Vanessa?
Yeah, Denise, we've been hearing from viewers about rent being raised, evictions, and other housing issues. One of the challenges is finding a rental at a decent price. That's even more difficult when you're down to the wire like Teresa Jameson.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Teresa Jameson found out Wednesday she's evicted.
Court continued this on October 4th.
Hearing Master David Brown briefly heard both sides. The landlord saying he's selling the property, Jameson expressing problems between them and asking for more time. The I-Team spoke with her moments after her request was denied, and she and 2 others living there were ordered to leave next week.
I don't know. I don't. sorry. So basically, we have until the 19th, and then he can lock us out.
Jameson says her monthly rent at the mobile home is $200. That's far below the average for an apartment in the Las Vegas area, which is more than $1,200.
I've never rented from somebody like this before. I've never done the room for rent thing for a room, but when I got on Social Security, it was so little I had to. You know,
she says the highest monthly rent she can afford may be $450, a challenge in a competitive market in Southern Nevada for Jameson and others on a fixed income.
It's bad, and there's going to be a lot of people going through this, and I feel for them. You know, I really do.
Teresa took the I-team inside the mobile home, and the conditions are, quite frankly, unbelievable. I'm going to show you coming up at 6. And I tried connecting Teresa with resources to find housing. I'll tell you about that also.
All right, thank you, Vanessa. Well, Metro Police have arrested one of 2 suspects believed to be involved in a deadly fight at a bus stop. Now, that happened late Sunday night near Sahara and Paradise. 1 person died. Police say 22-year-old John Kirby was arrested Thursday on a murder charge. He's due in court Monday morning. Engineers say a windstorm led to the collapse at La Bonita supermarket back in August. A report released by Clark County came to that conclusion. Now, that collapse happened near Eastern and Desert Inn. Gusts of 35 to 45 miles per hour were reported the previous day. No word yet on a possible reopening. Well, to a traffic alert now, the Las Vegas Boulevard on-ramp to northbound I-515 is reopening 2 weeks earlier than scheduled. Now, you'll be able to use that on-ramp starting at 6 a.m. on Monday morning. The northbound Casino Center on-ramp will continue to only access southbound Interstate 15 through late December. Drivers are urged to drive safely and not cross the barriers.
And across the country, thousands of workers are on strike. They are pushing for better wages and working conditions. That includes food production, healthcare, industrial work. On Monday, production could shut down on film and television sets in this country. The union representing 60,000 crew members prepares for a potential work stoppage.
A person might go to work in the morning and not get a meal for 9 or 10 hours or a break during the day.
Some union members are asking for better pay and quality of life, including a guarantee of 10 hours between shifts. With more than 10 million open jobs across the U.S. and the economy still rebounding, analysts say a more assertive labor force shouldn't come as a surprise. While it's not all picture perfect at Netflix headquarters, employees there are bracing for a potential walkout next week over the controversial Dave Chappelle comedy special. Transgender employees say the special has insensitive jokes aimed at their community as well as others. They're angry that the Netflix CEO has seemingly defended Chappelle. And Caesars Entertainment is hiring. An event will be held at the High Roller Charter Group's entrance at the Link Promenade next Tuesday, the 19th. It runs from 11 until 2. They're looking to fill more than 60 ambassador positions at the High Roller, the Flylink zip line, the Eiffel Tower viewing deck. Applications must be submitted online first. For more information, you can check out Caesars.com/careers. Anthem Blue Cross and its health partners hosting a health fair today in North Las Vegas to reiterate the importance of annual health exams happening at the Martin Luther King Senior Center, where things like vaccines and cancer screenings and mammograms and more were available free of charge. Not sure if this is the right video. Health officials say events like this really help with, there we go, the early detection of cancer. The Mamma Van was there. All of those screenings were free, COVID testing and the like.
There's no cure for breast cancer, so the best fight is to have it detected and diagnosed early enough that the outcome for the patient is the best, that the survival rate goes up. So that's the overall message, and that's why the Mammo Van rolls the state of Nevada.
The goal here was really just to bring the healthcare into an underserved community. Now, you can make an appointment and also see the Mammo Van's calendar of events on its website. It's nevadahealthcenters.org.
All right, we made it to Friday, and that means it's time for high school football all over the Valley. The Raiders are also holding their Friday night showcase. Ron Futrell is out there live with the latest. Ron, take it away.
Oh, Christian, we got a fun one out here tonight. El Dorado High School, the location is going to be El Dorado against Pahrump. So the folks from Pahrump, come on out here and enjoy some great high school football here in the Valley for first place, certainly. So they'll be having some fun here. Friday night showcase with the Raiders here. Roy Hart joins me now. Long-time Las Vegan, you've been here 27 years, played with the Raiders. Also came here with the Posse back in the day.
Yes.
First of all, I got to ask you about the Raiders. Defensive line this week. You're a defensive lineman. What do you, over and under in sacks? They got to get. Let's get some sacks this weekend. What do you think?
Well, you know, sacks can change the game, and
They
that's
can.
what we're looking for. So I'm going to say over and under 3.5. Yes.
Okay, good number. I'm going over.
You
Let's see if
going
they can
over?
get the over on that one.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm
Okay.
gonna go 3.
Watch out, Teddy Bridgewater.
Well, you know, we got to bring it to him.
Yeah.
We got to bring it to him. But you know, they got some good sack guys over there on their side also. But the defense and the defensive line have really stepped up, and we've put some great pressure on the quarterback. And of course, that's what it takes in order to change the game.
You came here with the Las Vegas Posse, then stayed in Las Vegas. I remember covering the Posse, certainly
Yes.
back in the day, a fun football team. What does it mean for you to have your team, the Raiders, coming here to Vegas? I'm seeing the smile on your face.
Oh man, it's been magnificent. You know, even going out into the local Las Vegas Valley before the Raiders was even a thought to move to the Valley was fantastic. But now that they are in the Valley, and of course out on every single avenue, Forest, middle school, high school, elementary school, they are fantastic. It just put a euphoria over me, really,
Fun stuff.
knowing that I could go out now and represent a team that I played for.
Oh, that's great. Roy Hart, thanks for joining us here live. Again, high school football here, the showcase for the Raiders coming up tonight here at El Dorado High School. Reporting live from El Dorado, Ron Futrell, live local now.
All right, thank you, Ron. Well, next on 8 News Now, problems with the mail led to action on Capitol Hill. How our lawmakers are responding to recent changes at the post office.
And how much is too much? We're going to look at the rise of TikTok and why critics say some users are just too young for this app. Ted?
Now comfortable 70s again, but 80s will return. We'll show you when coming up. You're watching 8 News Now at 5. We are live, local now.
This is 8 News Now Live at 5 with Brian Loftus, Denise Valdez, and Ted Florendo. 8 News Now Live at 5. Live, local, now.
Mail delivery for a lot of Americans continues to be slow as we head into the holiday season, and recent changes to the U.S. Postal Service are part of a 10-year plan the agency actually unveiled earlier this year. Washington correspondent Jesse Tenura reports on how Congress is now responding to these delays.
Is an attack on seniors, veterans, and small businesses across the country.
Lawmakers sent a message to the U.S. Postal Service Friday. The agency is not delivering for the American people.
Missing service standards hurts those who rely on the Postal Service and ultimately can prove to be a death spiral for the Postal Service.
At a special remote hearing in Chicago, Virginia Congressman Jerry Connolly said post office problems like improper scanning and staffing shortages lead to late fees on bills and delayed medications for customers.
These delays are especially concerning and potentially life-threatening.
Many in Congress blame the changes the agency's leader, Postmaster General Louis DeJoy, continues to make.
If someone came to my business and said, I got an idea, I'm going to reduce the value of your product, I'm going to raise its price, you'd say to yourself, you think that's a winning combination?
DeJoy's plan includes longer delivery times, cuts to post office hours, and more expensive postage to erase a projected $160 billion loss over the next decade.
Let's make it perfectly clear. The post office has had issues far before the current Postmaster General.
Pennsylvania Congressman Fred Keller wants widespread reforms to the Postal Service, and Congress is debating various legislation to do so. But in the meantime, a union representative for letter carriers said the agency needs to deliver for them, too.
We are embarrassed by what the Postal Service has become.
In Washington, I'm Jesse Tenor.
The gunman who killed 14 students and 3 staff members in a Florida high school is now expected to plead guilty. His attorneys revealed those new details this morning. If this goes through, it sets up a penalty phase where he would be fighting the death penalty. Former President Bill Clinton was admitted to a Southern California hospital on Tuesday. A spokesperson says the 75-year-old is recovering from a non-coronavirus-related infection. Clinton is on the mend and he says he thanked the doctors and nurses for their excellent care.
And firefighters still working to try and contain the Alisal fire, which is burning just north of Santa Barbara. The winds have made the firefight really tough, but containment has now jumped up to about 41%. The fire has burned through more than nearly 17,000 acres.
And of course, we're watching the winds and the smoke that could drift here, but thankfully the Alisal fire way off in Santa Barbara County and not in the Sequoia National Forest or the Sierras. If it was, then that would drift a little more of that smoke here. But right now, air quality is good, clear skies. I'm really liking these temperatures too lately, right? 71 degrees are high so far, 82 is where we should be. It has been now 9 days since we've seen those 80s. Record territory, 94 on this date. That was set back in 1958. I don't see any 90s in that 8-day forecast either. I know you're not complaining about that, right? 76 in Centennial Hills right now, Summerlin 68. Currently 73 for downtown. Very pleasant for Green Valley, Henderson, Rhodes Ranch, Mountains Edge. We're going to keep this going. Look at this, 72 for Seven Hills as well. Southern Highlands also at 72. 71 for Spring Valley, or I should say for Sandy Valley. 77 for Laughlin. Meanwhile, radar network, dry conditions across the desert southwest, and it will remain that way in the extended too. However, we are watching this low that's curling out in the Pacific. This is going to drag a cold front through the area and bring this. Stronger winds again for us, specifically Sunday night. Peaking on Monday and Tuesday, still some leftover breezes. This, however, is just breezy, not the very gusty, damaging winds like we had on Monday. So no worries as far as those winds go for early on the week. Big events this weekend, a lot of them we've been talking about in the earlier shows. One of them is Age of Chivalry. That returns again to Sunset Park. That's going to be over the weekend. We've got a lot of other stuff going on too for the weekend too. 76 for Saturday for that. Sunny and nice. We'll have some breezes. Sunday warmer, 80 degrees. However, more clouds mixed in with the sunshine on Sunday as that front starts to push its way into the region. 54 degrees overnight. That's your low. A cool evening for all of us. Lighter winds, especially with those gusty winds we have in some parts of the region today. Neighborhood by neighborhood temperatures. Here you go. North Las Vegas 75 along with Spring Valley, 72 Summerlin, 74 Mountains Edge for tomorrow, 74 for Henderson. Remember that we should be 83 this time of the year, so temps are way below normal again. 74 for Primm, 74 for Boulder City tomorrow afternoon. Your 8 on the 8 forecast does show those winds Sunday night. We'll start to see temperatures drop again in the 70s, but don't worry, they'll be right back to the low 80s again and still comfortable late next week. Christian, we'll send it over to you.
All right, thank you, Ted. Well, fostering Las Vegas tech startup scene. You might think tech startups are only in Silicon Valley, but Southern Nevada has a community with support from city leaders. Now, since May, the city of Las Vegas has helped create Tech Alley, which is in the downtown arts district. It's a place for local tech entrepreneurs to meet and discuss ideas and business plans. Tech Alley CEO says these monthly meetups could lead to some big business.
Where before a lot of folks were lost and trying to figure things out for themselves, there's now this central location where everybody gets together and collaborates, talks, comes up with neat ideas.
Well, there's a meetup happening tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 4 o'clock between Stinko's and Taverna Costera. Now you can find all the information on our website, 8newsnow.com.
Early holiday shopping. Supply shortages are convincing more Americans to start buying early this year. No time to procrastinate. The Better Business Bureau is urging extra caution, especially if you shop online. 1 of every 3 internet scams involving a purchase, and it's nearly impossible to get your money back. One of the most prevalent, by the way, is pet scams.
It's still as pervasive as it was during the pandemic. People aren't doing the research. They're falling in love with a dog they see online and giving money.
So the Better Business Bureau says a big reason people are getting ripped off, it can take a long time before they actually figure out they've been ripped off. Also, use a credit card when you're buying online. That can be safer than a debit card or PayPal, or you know what, walk into our local animal shelter and go look at the dog in person. New research finds that half of American adults under age 30 also use TikTok, and the app has grown to cover all aspects of life, things like recipes, fashion, a lot more than that. Well, that popularity has also attracted millions of children who many believe are just too young for its content. Parents have complained about the app's algorithm serving their kids inappropriate content. TikTok's head of public policy, though, defended their content.
It's about a diversity of content. And so we look to have a lot of different kinds of sources of information. So you're not just getting into one thing, but also we have ways if you're not interested in something you want to see less.
So Michael Beckerman there urged parents to actively watch TikTok content with their kids, and in order to try and promote some sort of moderation.
All right, Denise, you've been talking about it, and it's nestled right in Channel 8's own backyard. Just a block from the Strip is a piece of Las Vegas history. It's a house where eccentric billionaire Howard Hughes once lived. It is a story of a top-of-the-line technology, movie stars, atomic bombs, and a missing will worth billions. Now, this Sunday at 6:30, we will take you inside the hidden history of the Hughes house right here on Channel 8. Well, still to come on 8 News Now, lots going on this weekend. We'll take a look at some of the food fun festivities.
Then, coming up later here at 6 o'clock, did Vax Nevada Days really encourage a lot of people to get the shot? We're going to have a closer look at a study's new findings.
Good evening, Denise and Christian. On this Friday night, after 8 News Now, more than 15 million Americans could soon be eligible for a Johnson & Johnson booster shot. And could mixing and matching vaccines offer more protection from COVID? Plus, we'll have more tonight on the condition of former President Bill Clinton after his health scare. And Steve Hartman goes on the road. Meet a former FBI official whose new calling is behind the wheel of a bus. The CBS Evening News is just minutes away.
live at 5. This is 8 News Now.
All right, Denise, we've been talking about so many activities happening this weekend. Well, let's add this one to the list. The annual Las Vegas Black Food Festival fills downtown Las Vegas. It's in the Arts District near Casino Center and Colorado Avenue, just south of Charleston. Organizers want to set a new record, the largest group of people doing the Cha-Cha slide. Other events are at the Artisan Hotel through Sunday. Check out blacklvfoodfestival.biz for tickets.
I had to Google Cha-Cha slide, so I made sure I knew which slide it was. Also in the Arts District, some of the city's best chefs are holding a food festival. That's going to happen Saturday night. Vegas Unstripped starts tomorrow at 8. Also there in the Arts District, benefits 3 local charities. You can get tickets at the site, at the event. Really incredible food and drink. So if you are sitting at home this weekend,
events.
Too many options.
Yeah, and the list keeps growing and growing.